100%. All right, looking at our next one here, we've got Mathmech Circular, a level 4 light cyberse monster. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can send one Mathmech monster from your deck to the graveyard, except for Mathmech Circular. Special summon this card from your hand. Also, you can only attack with one monster for the rest of this turn. Ooh. Which, I mean, they do have a powerhouse of a card, but still, that has me
Mm-hmm.
worried. If another Mathmech monster or monsters is normal or special summoned to your field while you control this monster, you can add one Mathmech spell or trap from your deck to your hand. That's good. That's a really good effect right there. So so just looking at that card, I'd be thinking this would be a very good go first card because you want to search the trap for this deck because the trap is what really gets things going in a good way. And then we've got Gunkin Suship Aka Shuri, where you can use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. This card's name becomes Gunkin Suship Shuri while in the hand, deck, field, or graveyard. You can reveal one other Gunkin Suship Shuri in your hand, special summon this card from your hand, then you can special summon one Gunkin monster from your deck, except Gunkin Suship Shuri, but its effects are negated. And if you do, special summon one Xyz monster that mentions that monster from your extra deck using it and this card as the material. This is treated as an Xyz summon. Okay, Grunt, your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts?
So, I am not a Mathmech player, but I know for sure that Circular has been very popular with people because it just does so much for the deck.
Oh yeah,
Because, first
yeah,
things first, any deck would kill for the ability to get a free pitch for cost in order to special summon a monster that's also an extender because even if you're not gaining anything right off its summon, you have an extra level 4 for Synchro or Exceeds plays, which the deck exceeds at.
right.
You're able to make use off of any of your other Mathmechs. And here's the other thing, too, is that you're able to search Mathmech spell or traps with this. So if you happen to have the ability to search the trap, which I think is called Super
Yeah,
Factorial,
the
that gives
trap
you
is
some
super
quick play
good.
utility.
It's like Tri
You
Brigade Revolt good. Yeah, go ahead
you can
though.
you can search their archetypal monster reborn,
Yes.
which goes without saying because what you can do is you can pitch Sigma with diameter, or not diameter, circular, and then Sigma's effect is you can special summon him from the graveyard but banish him when he leaves the field, so you get two monsters for free since you pitch Sigma off of circular.
Right.
Then you can search with circular, and you still have your normal summon on top of all this.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
go to Xyz plays. You can, I think, like the biggest example is you can go into Alan Bershin, which searches out any Mathmech card. You can search out Diameter, which lets you. The point is, it is a very good one card combo piece.
Absolutely.
Some decks wish they got this much good support
Yeah.
in one card.
And
We
I
barely had decks with
so
multiple.
for people who don't know, the powerful synchro monster of this deck is exceptional, and it really can
Mm-hmm.
OTK if you have to attack with one. However, I look at this as a great go first card because the trap puts in so much work if you're on your opponent's turn. So if you're able to activate it, then it gives you the right setup that you're going to want for your next turn, where then more than likely you're going to OTK. So it's a fantastic card, 100%. Grunt, do you think people are going to definitely make it a three of?
Oh, this is definitely a 3 of. The fact that you're able to foolish something for a free level 4 body, I mean, it, honestly, I could see some Cybers decks going into this just because it's good cyber support. And if you're going first with this, being able to attack with only one
Mm-hmm.
monster doesn't even hurt
Doesn't
because it
hurt you.
doesn't lock you
Yep.
into anything aside from the attack.
Absolutely.
Sigma's already seen play in cyber stacks because he only locks you into cybers, not mathmech.
Right. Right.
So So this will probably see some splashability in any number of Cybers decks. Moving on to the Sue ship here, not to ignore this good card. So to clarify for anyone who wonders why the first effect is written this way, technically this card is almost always treated as Gunkin Sue ship Shari. But
Okay.
because it's only treated as Shari in the hand, deck, field, or graveyard, it's not always treated as Suship Shari, which means that even though it's treated as Shari in the deck, since it's technically not always treated as Shari, you can still run 3 copies of this and 3 of the original vanilla Shari.
Oh, so I was gonna ask you that because I know for like Harpy Ladies, you can't run extra versions of those cards. Like there's Harpy Lady 1, 2, and
Right.
3. They're always treated as Harpy
Mm-hmm.
Lady, and I was wondering if that was the situation here with the Gunk and Sue ships. I thought, ooh,
Uh,
this could be bad if you only get to run certain amounts.
So I believe the ruling, from what I've heard, is that since it's not quote unquote always treated as Shari, the idea is that you can still put it in the deck as a different name, and
Okay.
it's searchable in the deck as a different name, but it's literally just how it's worded because it's not always treated as Shari, and you're able to run the vanilla with it. I've
Oh,
seen it
that's good.
just running
That's
fine.
good.
I've seen it able to be run just fine through simulation, so unless the wording on this is a little weird,
Then
I
it's
am pretty
okay.
sure you can still
Because at
run.
first I was so
Yeah.
worried about it based on harpy situations I've had in the past, but no, then this becomes much better. Keep going with your thinking.
So, revealing another Shari. So you run 3 of this and multiple vanillas, you're probably going to have another Shari in hand for this. You're able to special summon it, special summon any other Gunkin monster from your deck, and even ignoring levels, like you could summon literally any of the other Sue ships that are already out there, and
Yep.
then summon
Hmm.
the appropriate Xyz that goes with it,
It's amazing.
and it's just you're able to get things off. You're able to get off to the races essentially with whatever. It's not going to make Sue ships broken,
No.
but it is kind of a nice thing to see because they've been giving that deck little by little more and more support.
Yeah, and it's becoming a nice little almost cult like deck where people, they just really do
It's
like it.
it's fun.
It is fun. I
It's a
play it in the
it's
series
a
I
deck
do with
where you're
Shadow
playing
Mew.
giant ships made of sushi. You're just having fun with it.
Well, and it has uses. You can OTK with it in the right circumstances. It's very
Mhm.
fun because you could also target stuff that's on the field and pop it. I mean, it's a very fun deck for sure. And I like that Konami has been slowly giving it the right kind of support. And this is definitely a power punch card for them. That definitely helps them even more. Good stuff for sure here. Okay, after that, we've got the Therions Empress Aregia. It's a level 8 Earth reptile monster. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can target one Therions or reptile monster in your grave, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, you get to equip it with that target. You can discard one card, then target one Therius monster in your spell or trap zone, special summon it. A Therian's monster equipped with this card gains 700 attack and the second effect of this card's name. Pretty solid. I mean that's pretty
Mhm.
good. And then Therian's Irregular, it's a level 10 dark machine. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can target up to 3 Therian monsters in your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, equip it with those targets. Oh, wow. You can discard one
Mhm.
Prenuptial Engine Arego system, or aggro system, sorry. Destroy all cards your opponent controls. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can special summon it, then equip it to this card the monster it was equipped to. Interesting. Okay. I think I like the level 8 much more, Grunt. Which one do you like the most and why?
So I like the level 8 just because, kind of like how the plant one and or Berea and Regulus are seeing used in plant and machine decks respectively. Orasia here could see play in reptile decks,
That's what
which
I was thinking.
Ogdoadic
Mm-hmm.
comes to
Yep.
mind,
That was my first thought too. Yep.
which because it's just more rank 8 fodder.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I don't think Irregular is worth sleeping on. For pure Therions at least, because just like Erasure here, every single Therion main deck monster gives its effect to Irregular when it's summoned.
Right.
So, Erasure, you could summon monsters equipped to Irregular. Regulus, you get negates. Berea, you get searches. Um, the list goes on with what a regular can do. So he is kind of this big macho boss monster,
Mm-hmm.
but having a nuke equipped to him while also being able to negate potential interruption to that nuke, he's pretty cool, and that's not stopping you from summoning other Therions still. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I like the reptile more, but I wouldn't sleep on the level 10 here.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with you. I think the level 8 just has more general uses. And anytime you have a card
Yeah.
that has more general uses, it's a definite way to go, I feel. But yes, the level 10 should not be slept on, guys. If you're putting, like Grunt just said, pure Therions, you can do something with this. There's definitely some uses you could have with that card. Looking at the next one here, we've got Ice Jade Creation. I'm not going to even try and say the last part of that. And then it's a level 7 Water Aqua Tuner monster. Wow, level 7 tuner. You can use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn, and only one of those that turn. Quick effect: if this card is in the hand or in the graveyard, you can target one Ice Jade monster you control and equip this card to that monster. Pretty good. The monster this card is equipped to gains 400 attack and defense for each banished monster. If this card is treated as an equip, you can then special summon this card. Oh, that's really good. And then we have Branded Central Dogmatica. It's a continuous spell. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If you special summon exactly one ritual monster with the effect of a spell card, you can look at either extra deck and send one monster from there to the grave. Ooh, that's interesting. And then if you special summon exactly one fusion monster with the effect of a spell card, you can target that monster until the end of that turn. That monster gains attack equal to its original attack, but it cannot attack except to attack position monsters that your opponent controls. Interesting. Both cards, Grunt, I see having uses. I feel Ice
Hmm.
Jade is very strong because of the ability, because if it's treated as an equip, you then get to special summon this card. So that definitely has great uses. But Central Dogmatica also has uses depending on the situation. Which one do you like more?
I definitely like the Ice Jade more just because, for obvious reasons, I don't know what synchro exactly it's planning to go into. I could maybe make a few guesses, but the fact that it's a tuner just means that it's an equipable way to extend into a Halka-Fibrax for Ice
Yeah,
Jades.
yep, thought the same thing.
And the continuous spell is cute. You can tell it's kind of trying to work with the recent Dogmatica support where they've gone into a ritual route,
Right.
even though the rituals aren't that amazing.
No.
Being able to pitch any monster from your opponent's extra deck is nice and all, but some decks that's just not gonna matter against. And then the full fusion effect, I mean, it's
Yeah,
gimmicky. So it's worth mentioning here just because, hey, it's searchable, it's branded, it works for Dogmatica in case Dogmatica keeps getting good support and actually
right.
becomes a threat again. But, the Ice Jade, in my opinion, is definitely better, especially since it turns any of your Ice Jades into, Gren Maju, essentially, in
Yeah,
terms of, gaining attack off banished monsters. I think some of the Ice Jades do focus on banishing.
absolutely. And I agree with you. I think that level 7 has great potential. If I was doing the Central Dogmatica, maybe a one of. And it's more casual play to me, is what I think that's screaming. So very interesting. Ooh, and then we've got the Mellfys, which I know
Yep.
people are definitely loving this deck. For me personally, I have lots of kids that I make decks for, and my girls loved these decks, the ones that I have in my classroom. They really enjoyed the archetype. It's easy to teach, so it was very fun for them to play around with this deck, especially, believe it or not, Grunt, I combined it with pendulums that were beast based. It was very fun. But
Okay.
anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So we've got Mellfys Sealy. It's a level 2 water beast tuner. Ooh, a tuner. Okay, is this the first
Mhm.
tuner for the archetype?
Yep.
Okay, interesting.
Mhm.
You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If a face-up beast, monster, or monsters you control other than Mellfys Sealy was returned to the hand this turn, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, you can synchro summon using only this card and Mellfys monsters, ooh, that's interesting, that are in your hand as material. During your end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Beast Xyz monster you control and attach it as a material. Home run card. Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Melfi Wallaby. Level 2 Earth Beast. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If your opponent controls, or I'm sorry, if your opponent normal or specials a monster or monsters, or if this card is targeted for an attack by an opponent's monster, you can return this card to the hand. Then you can special two Melfi monsters with different names from each other from your deck, except Melfi Wallaby. During your end phase, you can special summon this card from your hand. Oh man, Grunt, I can't say
It's
enough
dog, but
good stuff
better.
here. Yeah, this Sealy is a house of a card. I mean, the idea that you immediately get to synchro summon and then on the end phase get to attach it right back to a card for material, which goes right into what that archetype is trying to do, that is
Mhm.
solid. And the fact that the synchro summoning is allowing you to do it from the hand, I mean, there's some great uses there. And then Wallaby is excellent as well, getting to special summon two Melfi monsters. I mean, that's a starter in a way,
Mhm.
for setting up for the next turn. So, what are your thoughts here?
So, I think one of the cool things with Sealy is that it is completely generic in terms
Yes,
of what you can summon with it. So, you could do. There is. Spoiler alert, obviously. There is a Melfi Synchro that we'll go into next page. But even if you don't do the Melfi Synchro, there are other options.
I was thinking
Before
Herald of
obviously
the
has a few
Arclight.
options.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's
Herald
a
of the
level
Arclight is
4.
an option.
I mean that that's good. Anyways, keep
It's a
going.
shame that Sealy is not Earth like most of the other Melfies, because you could have gone into something like Naturia
Oh
Barkion.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
not
Uh-huh.
Beast, unfortunately, but you got level 6 options too. And again, I'm not sure how many good options there are going to be outside of the archetypal synchro. But you know what? It's just good to have a way to quick play synchro on your opponent's turn.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. What about Wallaby?
And I mean, Wallaby literally is what the deck always wanted. You're able to
Yes.
generate even more advantage off of what you've got. I mean, Puppy literally had it where, oh yeah, you can special summon one level 2 or lower beast,
Right.
except Puppy. So it was more generic, but most of the time with Mellfys, you were summoning other Mellfys anyway with
Yes.
Puppy.
Uh-huh.
So with Wallaby, you're just like, okay, well, now in case of more broken beast support in the future, we're only going to do Mellfys, except now they're any level, which, I mean, in case they
Yeah,
do Mellfys that aren't level 2.
right.
And again, it just goes without saying that being able to summon two monsters, no other restrictions, Mellfys obviously have their advantages. It just goes to show that there's just so many options now with them. I don't think it's going to be busted, but Beasts have gotten a lot of support recently, and I really
Yeah.
do like where they've taken this.
Yeah, I like it. I absolutely like it for sure. Now we get to see the synchro monster here, Cheerful Melfys. It's a level 4 Earth beast type. One tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up monster on the field. You get to return it to the hand. Oh wow, that's really good. If your opponent
Yep.
normal or specials a monster or monsters, or if this card is targeted for an attack by an opponent's monster, return this card to the extra deck. Then you get to special summon one Mellfys Exceeds monster from your extra deck. It's good. Oh, it's good, guys. Okay, so let's look at Mellfys Staring
Yes,
Contest.
it is.
You can only use one effect of this card's name once per turn. You can reveal one beast monster in your hand, add from your deck or graveyard to your hand one Mellfy monster with a different name from the revealed monster, and if you do, place the revealed monster on the bottom of the deck. At the start of your opponent's battle phase, you can activate this effect. Any number of Mellfy monsters in your hand becomes revealed during this battle phase. Monsters your opponent controls lose attack equal to the number of the combined attack and defense of all monsters currently revealed by this card's second effect. Woo, it's good. It's good support. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I love the synchro because if it's specialed, and if you look at the previous card, guys, it's a quick effect. So you can do this on your opponent's turn, right? Yeah, if a face-up beast monster you control other than Mellfy
Yes.
Sealy was returned to the hand this turn, because you can do that off other Mellfys. Okay, you get to get the effect off. Then if this card is special, you get to target one face-up monster in the field and return it. Talk about interruption. And then after that, if it gets targeted for an attack, you get to pop it back to the extra deck, get an Xyz monster out. Oh my gosh. And then the fact that the continuous spell card lowers the attack of your opponent's monsters. Ooh, Grunt, this is fantastic.
So all this deck has so much utility now. My only gripe with the Synchro's bounce effect is that it does not have a way to immediately add materials to the Xyz monster,
Yes.
which is kind of a damper. Now Sealy
Yes.
does this now during the end phase, your end phase at least. Sealy can attach itself. The issue is that that's not going to help when your opponent summons a monster or
Right.
attacks your synchro during your turn.
Absolutely.
You can. So there are kind of some ways to go around this. I'm just kind of waiting to see if they give us more support in an upcoming set to keep this going. The continuous spell. My only gripe with the continuous spell is that all of the Mellfys have 400 stat totals. So if you have the combined attack and defense of all your Mellfys, you reveal 2 to 3 of your Mellfys, it's 1200 reduction, which isn't bad. The only Mellfy that's bigger than 2k, or 2k, 400, is the vanilla monster, Mellfy Rabby, with his 2100 defense.
Right.
So, what you could always do is, you could run a copy of Rabby in your deck, summon Caddy with Wallaby or Puppy, and then bounce Caddy to search Rabby. But without Rabby, the continuous spell is definitely not going to be as good with attack reduction. Everything else about it, though, is good.
Oh, yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
you're able to get some free searches, too.
I agree. Really, really, really solid support. They're definitely moving in the right direction with the deck. Well done, Konami. Well done. All right. Then after that, we've got Albaz of the Ashes. Ooh, interesting looking card here. It's a level 4 Dark Dragon. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. This card's name is treated as Fallen of Albaz while on the field or in the graveyard, so that's good. If there is a level 8 fusion monster in your graveyard, this card gains 200 attack for each monster in your graveyard. Also, other monsters you control cannot be targeted by your opponent's effects. That's solid. Because if you're going against something that's anti-meta base, this is a house then, this card, if you already have stuff in the grave. That's not bad at all. If a monster you control leaves the field due to your opponent's effect while this card and a fusion monsters are in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. Then you have Branded Division. You can only activate one card with this card's name once per turn. Tribute one fusion monster, then target two monsters among either graveyard or that are banished except fusion monsters. Special summon one of those monsters on each side of the field, or if you tributed a fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz as a material, you can special summon both of those monsters to your field and face up defense position instead. Oh, wow. Woo, that's interesting. I mean, that is nice, because if you got, like, let's say I kaiju'd a card, right? And it was a powerful card, and then I set up my field, set this trap, and then on my opponent's draw phase, I go ahead and activate. I then take one of their really good cards, right? If I have a card that has Fallen of Albaz as a material in the grave. Would that be correct, Grunt?
So if you tribute a fusion monster that lists Fallen of Albaz, you can target two monsters among either graveyard. It doesn't have to be one from each
Oh
graveyard or
my
one from each banish.
gosh.
So you can special summon something like with your fusion spell, and then bring back two from the graveyard after activating this. It's definitely good late game, especially if you're able to steal some powerful monsters from your opponent,
Absolutely.
or if your opponent activates something like Reborn or something else and you want to, have a last ditch effort. It is searchable, obviously, like every other branded card.
Yeah.
So running at least one copy won't hurt. It does kind of suck that it's a trap, but it also is mostly a reactive card, so it makes sense why it's a trap. And then Albaz here is a cool retrain. It's kind of a reference to how recently in the lore things have kind of gone down to a desperate struggle.
Okay.
You can kind of tell from now. I can't tell exactly what's around him. It looks like it's supposed to be like shattered parts of whatever came from the trap, because I believe this is Albaz separating himself from the fusion because he was forced to fuse with a Luber or something. And it looked like blood for a second, but I'm pretty sure it's just parts of whatever he separated from, and now he's just in a desperate last stand. So it's a nice lore card. I don't think Albaz of the Ashes is going to have too much relevance in the deck, but maybe there'll be a niche reason to use a one of, since he still counts as Albaz.
Yeah, I like it. I definitely think there's good uses here. I like what you said. I think Division would be a one of for me. I wouldn't need to play more than that. I like it. It's pretty good. And Albaz of the Ashes, there's uses. Not sure how many I'd run, but definite uses. Okay, guys, we are gonna stop there though, because that's about an hour and a half of news. And Grunt, thank you so much, man. Lots of fun.
Yeah, no, we actually put a decent dent into this. I mean, for those wondering what else we have news-wise, we have almost 80 total slides, so we're only about a quarter through all the current news.
Oh, wow. So we will try to get to more, guys. We'll try to get to more, especially now that I'm finishing up some stuff. But, all right, well, Grunt, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I enjoy going through all these.